What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the After Run Bourbon Club, brought to you by Castle on the Hill Productions. Y'all, I am so excited for today's guest. Not only is she an exceptional athlete, but she is somebody who I feel very fortunate to call a friend. She is one of the senior captains at Northeast Track Club, which just so happens to be the track club I run with. She's a 2026 Lululemon Ambassador and a former Division I runner at William & Mary. She is very passionate about creating community and helping people find the connections, the joy, and the confidence that running brings. On top of that, she is one of the happiest people you will ever have the fortune of meeting. She is never without a smile on her face. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the bourbon table my friend, Molly Applegate.
Hey guys, what's up? Oh, I am so honored to be here. Thank you so much, Los.
Yeah, of course. I'm so happy to have you here. How are you today?
I'm good. It's a toasty one out there.
It is very toasty.
Yeah, it's warm.
Yeah. Went for an 8-mile run this morning, and I went through my entire water bottle in that 8 miles. It is spicy. The summer has come to DC.
We are here, people. Welcome to the swamp.
And it's crazy, too, because it's just starting, and it's just going to get worse. And yeah, training for a marathon this summer is going to be tough for sure. I'm going to have to run with like 2 water bottles for my long runs. It's going to be crazy.
At least those DC water fountains are on now, right?
Yes. Very, very fortunate that the water fountains are on. I'm definitely going to have to plan my routes along water stops and all kinds of hydration. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I know you've had a very busy week this week, so were you able to get a workout in this morning, or?
I went for a little run this morning. It was very early this morning. I am having kind of busy work week.
Yeah.
But it's all good stuff. So I went for an early run. It was still hot out though. It was like not for the faint of heart. I ordered a smoothie bowl directly delivered to my front door for when I was done, which is
that is
excellent.
Great planning. Nice.
It's a life hack. When you're leaving for your run, order that smoothie bowl, time it, deliver it, get it at your front door. When you're done with your run, boom.
I'm going to have to take that advice.
Check that out.
I'm going to do that for sure.
It's so good.
I will be doing that multiple times probably this summer.
I love it.
Yeah. All right. So welcome to After Run Bourbon Club. What is your experience with bourbon?
I did a bourbon tasting one time.
Okay.
I probably can't differentiate bourbon very well, but I'm excited for you to maybe teach me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we will get into some very interesting and different flavors. I will describe all the bourbons before we taste them, and that way maybe you can pick some of the flavor notes out, and we can go from there.
Okay, and these bottles are so fancy. I'm just looking at this one.
Yeah, wow. They are
very cool.
The branding. It all goes into all of that, the bottle creation and shapes and all that too. So yeah. Okay. We're going to start with the bourbon on the inside of the table. We're going to work our way out. And the first one is Buffalo Trace. And this one is a 90 proof bourbon.
Okay.
I will say, just so that because you're a little inexperienced, if you're going to smell it like a little away from your nose, because some of that alcohol can tend to overpower you sometimes. And then for your first tip, take just a tiny sip, swish it around your mouth a little bit, let that burn kind of numb your pain receptors.
Okay.
And then when you take a second sip, that's really when you should taste all those flavor profiles. Okay. All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Number one.
Okay. Receptors are activated.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so number 2. Flavor profile for this one is vanilla, mint, brown sugar, spice, oak, leather, toffee, and candied fruit.
Wow. Okay, there's a lot of flavors in that
right?
when you just list it off.
Yeah. What do you think is the most prominent for you?
I mean, it's because I'm an inexperienced bourbon taster, but definitely a heavy undertone of leather.
Okay.
Which I think is really nice. It may be like an oaky leather.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm tasting, but it's kind of sweet as an aftertaste, which you said
a little bit of
candied
fruit. Yep.
Candied fruit. So yeah,
you get that.
Oh, it makes sense.
Nice.
I like it. It's interesting that it when I first tasted it, I tasted this undertone of leather and smokiness, and then then it got a little sweeter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
You like it? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. All right. Well, we're going to get into your first question there.
Okay.
I will be getting into all of your amazing running accomplishments, but first I wanted to know how you got into running.
Oh man, what a good question. It goes back to like my elementary school days.
Okay.
There was this race every year that my dad and I ran together. It was called the Manasquan Turkey Trot. And it was the week before Thanksgiving, and we did the 1 mile fun run together. I think I ran it one year and I was like, oh my gosh, my lungs are burning. This is terrible. And the next year I told my dad I wanted to train. So we ran probably about a quarter mile around the block, maybe 3 times before the race.
Yeah.
But that year I was maybe 8 years old, and I got to the finish line of the mile. Someone pulled me aside and said, oh, you won your age group. And I was like, no way, I won my age group. And my dad, of course, is finishing right around where I was, just kind of hanging out with me. And my mom's like, all right, come on, let's go. It's cold. Time to go to the car. And I was like, no, I won. We have to stay now. And I know everyone's curious what I won. It was a $5 gift card to the local Acme grocery store. And my mom told me I could get anything I wanted for that $5.
Nice.
So naturally, I got some candy.
Nice.
I think it was like Jolly Ranchers, but I was hooked after that. I think I really loved the feeling of like just running and being able to do it by myself and powered by my own 2 legs. And it was really cool to win, but I think it was more that I felt so accomplished once I finished it. That really got me hooked.
Yeah, no, that is like such a dopamine high, especially as a kid when you're like not expecting such a reward at the finish line, and to be like, oh,
so pleasantly surprising.
Here's a $5 gift card, and that's a lot for
Oh yeah, for an 8-year-old, I'm like, I won the lottery.
Exactly.
What do you guys want me to get you? Everyone put in their asks. Meanwhile, I can buy like 5 Jolly Ranchers with that, but it was very cool as a kid.
Yeah. So what made you fall in love with the sport?
So I have like a couple of distinct things, but after this, I used to run in our backyard from fence to fence. I'd run up to the fence, I'd crash into the fence, then I'd turn around and run to the other one. And my parents would call me the running girl. But I actually think when I really fell in love with running was in middle school. I was on the middle school cross-country team, and I just loved that you can always be improving. Like it was a measurable thing that it was, I ran a 6-minute mile, and then, oh my goodness, I broke 6 minutes in the mile. That's great, but can I get a little faster? How close can I get to 5:50? And I wrote a poem in middle school, and it was something about like, I just love the wind in my hair, which was probably overemphasized, but I really like being outside. I think I loved the fact that I got a community of like other runners to run with and train with, and I got to know my other middle school classmates through that, and it was very cool to just be able to do it under my own volition. And I mean, it was very cool to always move the mark a little bit, like under 6 minutes. Great, 5:50. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How fast can I get? And it's just very cool to see that. Amazing.
No, that's probably the same reason I fell in love with running as well. Just having that mark that you can always just go for the next goal.
Yeah. And it can be a very personal goal. Like there's outward goals and there's in your head goals of, wouldn't it be so cool if I could do this or that? And then you surprise yourself and you just have this sense of pride and like this kind of runner's high after like a really good effort that it's hard to find. And I feel like people really chase that. Yeah, no, for sure. The runner's high is like no other. Yeah. I mean, I guess I wouldn't know. I haven't done any drugs, so maybe people who do drugs prefer that to the runner's high. But for me, the runner's high is the best high that you could get naturally. I'd agree with that. Naturally. Based on my very non-existent drug experience. Exactly, I would agree. I was going to say small, and I was like, well, actually, it's non-existent. But I think just the ability to like constantly be leveling yourself up, and I think that's very cool. But it's also just, what can I do next? And there's also this sense of freedom with running because, you get to a new place. How cool is it to be able to just go for a run and explore? You don't have to go far.
That is my favorite thing about running.
I love it.
Yeah, traveling and running, that's the best way to explore.
It's so fun. Like I think it's one of the first things I look forward to when I'm in a new place. I'm like, is there a cool park? Is there, is there a nice spot along the water to run? Can I see some cool monument? Like, what can I see? And, living in DC, we're super lucky because there's obviously the monuments that we can run. I honestly think I probably don't appreciate it enough because I can run the monuments all the time. But it's just so special to be able to explore places that way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. When Carrie and I went on our honeymoon, we were in Europe, and every country we went to,
it's probably great.
New running experience. I almost accidentally went onto a military base in Dubrovnik. Luckily, there was a guard at the gate.
That sounds dangerous.
He just was like, kindly turn around. And I was like, okay, I'll just go explore somewhere else. But in my defense, there was a marker on Google Maps that was like, you should definitely check out this spot. And the only way to get there was through the base. But
Google Maps always deceiving us. Come on, Google Maps, get it together.
Get it together. Okay, well, I did say you were a very talented athlete, but I'm going to focus right now on one particular event, and that's the mile.
Okay.
Okay, so your personal best in high school, 4:59.87.
How did you find that? Wow, you did your research. Okay.
I do my research. Yeah. Then you lowered that time when you went to college to 4:45.18.
That's right.
That was good enough for the 5th fastest time at William and Mary, and you're actually the 3rd fastest woman there as well. Having spoken to several former collegiate athletes, specifically track athletes, I know that training can sometimes be lonely and isolating. So what would you say was the greatest challenge for you, and how did you overcome that challenge?
That's a good question. All of your questions are good. I think the hardest thing for me, and something that I love now, was it was really hard to find people to train with in the summertime.
Yeah.
I almost was like, no, I don't want summer to come. I love summer, as a concept. I love the warmth. I love the sun, but it was really hard and a little bit daunting to have to go home for the summer and realize it's really hot. I'm from New Jersey, at the Jersey Shore. Mm-hmm. It's humid there too, and I'd have to put in 50, sometimes 60-mile weeks, pretty much solo.
Yeah.
And occasionally I'd be able to convince, my high school boys team, people who are still willing to run with me, and I shout out to them. It was always awesome to have company, but it was really daunting to go home in the summer and go from having a community at school that were really fast. We had common goals, to going home to my hometown where, folks just I didn't have this group of people to support training. And
Sure.
It was hard because, when you're home, you want to spend time with your family and you don't want to inconvenience people. And sometimes training like this has to be a little bit selfish because you have to find time. And it's not just, an hour for a run, go run 8 miles, but it's, okay, get ready for the run, stretch, do some warm-ups. Then when you're done with the run, maybe you're doing some core, maybe you're stretching, maybe you probably have a lift at least a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And fueling properly and, getting enough sleep and all those things. And it was really hard to do that by yourself. And I know a lot of people probably could relate to that, especially in college. But yeah, that was probably one of the most difficult things, was to not only push myself to run, but also knowing that you kind of had a target on your back, that when you got back to campus, you better be in shape because your first race is right around the corner. So that was really hard, but yeah, that's my answer.
Okay. No, that's a good answer. And I think, running and training by yourself, you really develop a strong mental strength, which you need in running. You need that ability, because when you're out during a race and you start to hit a wall, it's really the people who have developed that mental toughness that can push through the wall, and the people who haven't kind of get limited by that wall. So obviously you've had the mental toughness to push through that wall, because looking at your times, they were incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I read a quote online about you from your high school coach, Jim Greer. He said that you might be the best runner your school ever had.
Oh my gosh.
Did you feel like there was a big expectation that you had to live up to in high school?
Yeah, wow. Him and Eddie Baines, that quote also might have been from Eddie Baines as well, but Eddie Baines was my high school coach and he was incredible.
Okay.
I actually would almost go back to the first question where you asked, where did I really fall in love with running?
Yeah.
And it was the people I was surrounded with, but my coaches. I had a set of awesome coaches in high school. But Eddie Baines really believed in me and kind of always was, I guess kind of talking to, did I feel like there was a lot of pressure to perform?
Yeah.
I feel like he's just like, I can hear him saying like, kiddo, I'm just kind of happy with you, however you do it. Like he'd call me kiddo, and he just was always proud. And I think always really willing to work with me however I showed up that day.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be fast for him.
Okay.
Like it was like I wanted to make him proud, and I loved when I had a really good race. I feel like we were like, yeah, we nailed that. All of our hard work. Heck yes. But I also feel something that I was really lucky to have when I was a high schooler was my parents were really supportive, but never pressuring. They loved to cheer me on in the races, but no matter what, they were always proud of me. I say the same for Eddie Baines. He was just such an awesome coach, and just behind you no matter what, good day, bad day, he was there. And I think from a pressure perspective, I probably put more pressure on myself than anyone else did.
Yeah.
I remember when he wrote that article, I was so flattered, like incredibly, like just so touched that he wrote that, because I never thought of myself like that.
Yeah.
I would still say I don't think of myself as that. Like when I read that article every once in a while, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That's just so cool to think about, but I never felt that, not in high school at least.
Right, yeah.
Because I was just so supported, and I felt like that was what made me able to continue competing in college, because I was not burnt out. I just loved it. I loved showing up in the starting line. I felt like, I'd get to the starting line and I'd just be excited to race and excited to see how far I could push myself. And I always had like little things going into it. We'd go into like different races, and I'd know my competitors in high school, and maybe I'd be nervous to race against like certain people, but generally I just was like so lucky to be running and racing. It was really cool.
Very cool. I think it might be from the article you're talking about from Eddie that I read that quote, but he also talked about a story where he told you that you might be the first to break 5 minutes for the school as a female. And you did that your senior year, as we talked about, your PR in high school, 4:59.87. And it seems like he had a lot of belief in your ability.
Yeah.
Which is really important. I mean, obviously coaches do believe in their athletes, but like to put that on an athlete and be like, you're destined for greatness at this school is pretty awesome.
Really cool. Like, I remember him telling me that, and me kind of being, I think at the time, I think I was a freshman when he told me that.
I think you're right, yeah.
And I remember showing up to practice, and I had like some injuries, just, normal, like you're growing, your bones are not as firm as maybe they normally would be.
Sure.
But I actually had fractured my back. I fractured my L5.
Oh, wow.
Which was super painful. And as a freshman in high school, you're like, what the heck is going on? My back is fractured? What?
That's crazy.
But yeah, I remember showing up, and like I could run, but not that much. And I remember him I told him, I was like, I can run a 5:28 mile. That's what I've run so far. And he's like, all right, let's run the mile. And sometime during that year, I remember he had said that, and in my head I was like, okay, 4:59 in the mile, I don't know about that. That is really fast.
Yeah.
And that was, like, people who ran 4:59 in the mile were, like, up here. I was like, whoa, those people are so fast. They're so intimidating. I don't want to race those people.
Sure.
You don't do it just, like, first try. It took a couple tries. But there was a race. It was called the Twilight Race. It was at night. It was probably like an hour away from our school. So I remember driving there, and it felt like a fair. It felt like there was like popcorn, there was cotton candy.
Yeah.
I remember walking around just being like, this is a great night. This is so beautiful out. And I remember being really relaxed going into it and running it. And he was just so proud of me. Like, it was so cool that I got to do it. And something really special, my grandpa randomly showed up to the school and also got to see me. So out of my whole family, my grandpa, Pop-Up, was the only person who got to see it. But I was just so lucky. Eddie Baines was really there the whole way, and it was very cool to be able to deliver. Because I think as much as it was very cool to me to even think that I could do that, I think it was also maybe like a feather in his cap that he predicted this and then helped me get there. Yeah, I would have had no idea what to do.
If I'm remembering correctly, you broke 5 in your last race as a senior, right?
It was our last like regular season meet, because you go on to run like conferences and meet of champions, a couple rounds of that championship season, but it was my last regular season meet. And I honestly kind of felt like I did that, and I was like, check, I can like put my high school career to rest. I did it. I did what I set out to do.
Yeah.
I did what Baines set me out to do my freshman year, and I got there and I made him proud, and I can move on to the next chapter now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Thank you.
You continue to run, obviously. We do the mile for Northeast Track Club, but what is now as an adult, what is your favorite distance to run?
I actually really like road racing these days. I think the half marathon is the perfect distance.
Wow, okay. Nice.
And hear me out. I know people are really into marathons and the training that goes with that, but for me, it's very taxing to think about running a 20-mile run on the weekends. I do really love running. I love running with my friends, but I'm so energized by hitting like, a 10 or 12-mile long run and feeling like I nailed the paces. I can usually convince a friend or many friends to go with me, which is awesome. And it becomes much more of a community sport. And I think it's the kind of race that doesn't break your body down so much. So you have time to cross-train and do other things. And, after a 10 or 12-mile run, you might not be cooked for the day. You can actually live your Saturday out however you want or whatever day you're running. So I really love road racing. I would say the half marathon, if I had to pick one, is probably my favorite.
Okay.
I am curious to run a 5K at some point. I haven't run one in a while. I think it would be neat just to see where my fitness is at. But overall, I think the half marathon is
good to know.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, we are done with our first bourbon.
Okay.
You like that?
I did.
Okay.
I'm excited to compare them.
Yeah. These are all slightly... I would say some of these have pretty different flavor profiles. I'm interested in seeing how you rate each one.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna move on to the next one, which is the Woodford Reserved Double Oaked. This one is 90.4 proof, so just a little bit more than the Buffalo Trace.
Okay. I can smell the difference.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Flavor profile for this one is vanilla, honey, chocolate, toasted oak, caramel, spice, hazelnut, and baked fruit. What do you think?
I can taste the undertones of vanilla much more strongly in this one.
Yes, yeah. This one to me is very sweet compared to Buffalo Trace.
Yeah, the first one was kind of dark and smoky. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but that's in my naivety how I would describe it. But this one was definitely sweeter.
Yeah. And just as a caveat, everybody's palate is different. So what I taste might not be what you taste. Okay. And so if you taste dark and smoky, that's your experience, and that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm impressed by how many flavor profiles that is all baked into one of these. I like I said, I didn't know a lot about bourbon before this, but must be a lot of thought that goes into creating these.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of experimentation that goes into it, different what's called a mash bill, which is essentially what ingredients they put into it. And how long they age them for, and where they age them. It's very it's creative, but also very scientific at the same time. So I love that. I love it.
Very cool.
Yeah. Okay. So second question.
Okay.
So while you have had a lot of success in running, it hasn't come without some challenges. In the way of injuries. So you just mentioned you had your back injury.
Yep.
In your junior year of high school, you had a season-ending injury after your first cross-country race.
I did.
And then just a couple years ago, you had to have a surgery on your Achilles.
Yep.
Which once again put you on the sidelines. So for someone whose life is so ingrained in running, how does that affect you personally, mentally, and physically when you have it taken away?
Well, for starters, it definitely makes me cranky. Nobody likes getting the thing that they love to do that gives them energy taken away from them. That's always going to be a hard part. Right. I do think running is generally hard on your body. I mean, it's awesome if you cannot have injury. I think the people who can perfect that, I think you even look at professional runners and they haven't quite perfected how to not be injured. You can fuel correctly, you can get enough sleep, you can stretch, you can roll, you can do core, you can do strength, you can do all of these things. But generally running is a lot of pounding on your body. And I forget what the force is, but it's a ton of force on all of your legs, your back, so many parts of your body. Honestly, probably the only thing you don't break is your arms generally. Somehow I did break those too, but that's for another story maybe. But it's really hard. I think in high school, that injury, I had hurt my knee, and I think it was more of a growing pain, like just the kind of thing when you grow a bunch, like some of your ligaments are still shaking out. But what you were alluding to, my Achilles reconstruction, that was a leftover injury from college. So I ran the steeplechase in college along with the mile. And the steeplechase particularly is really hard on your Achilles. Because if you're not familiar with it, there's 5 jumps, 5 hurdles every lap, and there's 7.5 laps. And then one of those hurdles every lap is a water jump. And the water jump, the idea is to get up onto the barrier, with kind of using one leg to do that, and like cycle through the air and land on one foot as your landing foot.
Right.
And your Achilles and your shin are taking a ton of force from that. Like you're jumping from, 3.5 feet up down to the ground, trying to land in an inch or 2 of water to break your fall.
Right.
Like, what a crazy concept. Horses did that, and they said, all right, people should maybe try it now.
Yeah.
Let's get humans in there. So, yeah, I was a leftover injury from college, and I had a lot of support in college. Like I had this great coach, Scott Jones, my senior year, and he was awesome. I was so lucky to have him in my corner. But I do remember the races happened. I raced a steeplechase, and I think the next day I raced like an 800 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think my Achilles was just not ready to do both races back to back. And 800's like super snappy compared to a longer distance race. Even though I was taking a lot of force on my leg, I think kind of getting off the line and getting up on your toes a day later, it's just a fluke thing.
Yeah.
I remember at first my calf felt really tight, and I kept telling it, like the trainer, I was like, my calf is really tight. I don't know what's going on. It's very tight. It's really not great. And your Achilles, I don't think I broke it, but I guess you can't break it. I didn't tear it, but I think I definitely tweaked it. And that was kind of one of my last races of my 5th year of running at William & Mary. So, you keep going through the season. I don't think that helped it, but it was totally my choice. I was like, of course I'm going to keep going. And I don't think at the time it appeared as apparent to me that it was like such a big injury.
Sure.
But then I went to my adult life, and, getting to the business world is kind of shocking at first. You're working 9 to 5 every day. You no longer have like a coaching staff and training room supporting you day to day. Like, maybe Molly, you take a day off here. Like in my head, I was like, yep, wake up, go for a run, go to work all day, do it again, rinse, repeat every day.
Yeah.
And my social life was really, was with my friends who ran. And at the time I was running with Georgetown Run Club, so everyone was really competitive and fast. And, I just think I didn't really know how to handle it properly, even though it was hurting a lot. And on days that I ran, it would get pretty swollen, be kind of uncomfortable to wear shoes with backs. And I had all sorts of things. At one point, I had read online that if you just cut the backs off your sneakers, you can still run. So I cut the back off one of my sneakers. And that was a great fix for a very short amount of time until I figured out it's very hard to run without a back on your shoe.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. Which did not help.
Yeah.
During COVID, losing your sense of community, if the only outdoor activity you can do is going for a run, which realistically I could have gone for a walk, but if that's how you're getting your connection with community, of course you're not going to just stop.
Right.
And I had gone to a couple doctors who had prescribed, rest. So maybe I rested a little bit. Of course, my not very patient self was probably like, it's not getting better. I'm over this whole rest thing. I can run. It just hurts a little. So I don't think it's going to break. I'm just going to keep running.
Yeah.
So I kept running and running. And it was starting to limit me a lot.
Yeah.
And I went to actually 6 doctors to get second opinions.
Ah.
And I think what happened was, I think a lot of people would feel this Achilles pain and probably stop. But I think just, college running, high school running, a lot of running under my belt, I had a pretty high pain tolerance. And it would hurt, but the benefits still outweighed it to me. Where I was like, I'm still getting to see my friends.
Yeah.
It was getting so small increments of worse. It was hard to tell day to day. But there was a breaking point where I was like, man, I'm going for a run in the morning and I am suffering for the rest of the day. Or on my run, I'm miserable the whole time. So I saw a doctor in Alexandria who was like, this is a pretty advanced case of a torn Achilles, but it's not just torn, it's actually shredded. Which is
insane.
I was like, oh, great. That's fabulous. And he compared it to a rope that was kind of frayed. And he's like, there's not one clean break or split anywhere. It's just kind of frayed. And those frays are not going to get better. The way it's done, the way it's looking is it's never going to heal. It's going to continually get worse, but just a little bit. And it just depends how long you want you want to do this for?
Right.
And he's like, I don't recommend you stop running if that makes you really happy. I just recommend you decide when your end point is. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Finally, some good advice. He's doctor number 6. So I was like, okay. So I think, I got an MRI and I was like, okay, I think it's time. Like, this is just really bugging me and it's really affecting my quality of life. Like, I remember I didn't want to go to concerts because you'd have to stand up. I didn't want to go for long walks because it would be like throbbing and purple by the end. So I had a surgery to like try to clean it up, essentially. It was like not a full-on surgery. It was more of like a procedure, but it was in office. I had anesthesia. I was awake. Not the most pleasant experience. And I was really hoping it would help, but it actually just made it worse. And I don't think it was the doctor's fault. I think it was just that it was so damaged and like just opening that cavity up, my body was like, all right, this is really bad. You got to stop this. We need to fix it. So I had to wait till I healed up from that. And then about 2 months later, I had an Achilles reconstruction, which was really cool. It was called a Zadic osteotomy. So it wasn't your typical like severed, tie it back together.
Right.
An osteotomy means that they remove a chunk of your heel. So I had like a little wedge at the back of my heel. You kind of imagine breaking the back of your heel in half.
Okay.
You take out this wedge just from, not totally at the end of your heel. If this is your foot, the wedge is like here.
Okay.
They take out this, using a burr, take out this wedge, which shortens the length of bone that my Achilles has to attach back into.
Interesting.
And it really was. There was a couple different incision points because you have to take the chunk of bone out. And then you have to put 2 screws in. So there's a screw going through the back of my heel, and there's a screw going through the bottom of my heel, kind of putting it back together.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I am so grateful. It is I think it is something I'll have to manage for my whole life. It was a pretty bad injury. But that doctor gave me so much mobility and so much life back. I can go for a run and not even think about my Achilles hurting. I could go for a 10-mile run, a 5-mile run, a 2-mile run. I could go for however many miles I want. I had a really great PT, Doc Sarah, who, I had some pretty low moments during my recovery, and she was just really supportive, and I needed someone who really cared about me, I think, in those moments to just help me get through it, and she did. And I remember the first day I walked again because I couldn't walk for a while. And
I remember you were on a scooter.
I had a knee scooter, then I had crutches. I couldn't walk for about 2 months.
Yeah.
I could hobble. I would say like actually going for a walk. 2 months, I remember being able to walk 1 mile. Very slowly, but it was a huge milestone for me. And I was like, amazing, I walked a mile. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it was, I guess, I've given you the whole background story now, really dove into it. But yeah, it's very humbling, I think. But the outcome, I would say, is it really kept in check for me. Just like running is great, but there's so much more to life. And it also reminded me that balance is really important. Like, it's great going out for a run every day, awesome. But during that time, I got really into Pilates and lifting. And I'm nothing without my community. I had so many people show up for me during that time, and my friends who were just like, we want to come hang out with you. We want to check in on you. We want to bring you some food.
Right,
And it was just like, I was so grateful for the people who just stood by me. So,
That's amazing.
It gives you a lot of perspective. It puts back in it, like, running's great and all, but you know what's really great? Your friends and your community and the life you live in between your runs.
Yeah,
so,
no, that's incredible, because I mentioned again that you enjoy creating community, and the opposite of that is that the community shows up for you when you need it as well. And I think that's amazing that you have that surrounding you, supporting you when you need it. We all need support sometimes. We're not always going to be 100% healthy, and in those times when we're not, it's those people that you surround yourself with that show up for you and lift you up when you're down. Yeah, you
never forget it. Like, truly, I will never forget the people who just showed up for me and were my friends. And I remember you and Carrie were such awesome supporters, and there are so many people in those moments that I didn't even know would care to show up that were like, we want to be there for you. How can we help? And that was so awesome.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So you mentioned, you had some low moments, and Doc Sarah was there to help you. How would you say that improved your already tough mental toughness? Like, did you find that it helped you a little bit more, like, to create that mental resilience because this was big deal for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me in my like little scope of the world, it was a big deal that I couldn't run. And, you know, there's so many worse things that can happen to a person. So having that perspective too.
Sure.
But yeah, I think what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that's as cliche as that sounds, like it did. I feel like I can handle a lot. I think it also gave me a lot of empathy, which was really an important thing. Like I understand how hard it is to make a decision to have a surgery. You know, you hear about like things like ACL tears. You don't really get a decision like you need to have your ACL repaired.
Right, yeah.
But there's this whole world of optional surgeries and optional procedures that they better your quality of life, but it's so hard to get to the conclusion of like, I want to do that surgery because you really have to set yourself back so far to get ahead or to get back to like maybe baseline. So yeah, it definitely, I think the biggest thing is it gave me a lot of empathy along with the mental toughness of like, dang, you can get through some really tough, like I had some really painful nights where I just remember being like, this is so painful. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And, you know, having to learn how to walk again, like really weird nuances of like, you know, on the bottom of your foot, you have this cushion. It's called a fat pad. When you don't use it, it goes away. So when I started walking again, I was like, man, my foot is like, kind of throbbing and not near where I got a surgery. It just kind of hurts. Yeah. And I learned that there's these fat pads that cushion the bottom of your foot. So I was kind of just walking like skin on bone. And it would get really sore even after short runs or walks. And it took me a really long time to build that stuff back. So I learned a lot about me. I learned a lot about, I think, pushing myself just a little further out of my comfort zone than I want to be. And yeah, I think having the empathy as like an outcome of that for other people in that kind of situation. I think, especially for runners, Achilles injuries are really common. Yeah. And I've had a lot of people reach out and be like, Molly, like I'm really nervous. My Achilles been hurting for a long time. I don't know what to do. And I'm like always happy to give them my thoughts and advice because it is one of those weird scenarios where it's kind of optional. Like, do you just want to not run anymore? Do you want to not run for 6 months and see what happens? Do you want to have this surgery that's going to derail you for a while? It's up to you. So, it's tough. Yeah, it's definitely, I'm really grateful to have the empathy and to share my experience with other people too.
Yeah, it's good that you can provide that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say that this whole experience gave you more appreciation for listening to your body and prioritizing rest and recovery?
Yeah. I think it's something, like personally, I've definitely fallen into the say yes to every run category because you know my friends are running and I don't want to miss whatever we're going to talk about, and it's so fun to be around your friends, and you know you don't want to miss a day of training, and I said I was going to run 50 miles this week so I have to, and I think it's really hard, especially as someone who thrives on community, to just say no sometimes. But what I did find is that I walked away with a lot better perspective on balance, like you mentioned. Like on a day that I don't feel like going for a run, not like a lazy don't feel like it, but on a day that my body's like, I'm tired, I'm sore, I'm not recovered, I love Pilates. I think Pilates is really restorative, and it's good for my mental health too, I think. I love being strong, and I love the balance of, okay, I ran, but today I'm going to give my body a rest. And it's actually something I think a lot of runners, and I see it sometimes in our track club and sometimes in our circles of community, that people are new to running, or maybe they're not so new, but they're new to running community. And, you know, that person's running 20 miles as their marathon buildup. So I should run 20 miles too. And, you know, even though I ran 10 yesterday, and, you know, people are talking about these 60-mile weeks, 70-mile weeks, some people 100-mile weeks at these daunting paces that you're like, oh, I need to be doing that. And in the age of Strava, where everyone posts their runs, like I have a Strava account to sometimes look for run routes in other places, but I never post my runs because it's not really a competition with other people for me. It's just me against me. And I love that aspect of it, but I think it's taken this to get me to the point where I'm like, hey, everyone has their very individualized own bodies. There's a lot of really successful runners and racers, professional even, who don't run 60 miles a week. They run 35, but they crush their cross training. They get lots of sleep and they fuel really well. And I really look up to the people who are like really strong runners who lift a lot, because I think that keeps you healthy. So, I think the balance is really hard. I think I learned a tough lesson about balance. But I do think now I feel really lucky. I can just enjoy life a little bit better by not like compulsively going for a run because I said I was going to. Instead, I can say like, I'm not going to go for a run, but I'm going to go for a long walk today. Or I'm going to catch up with a friend and my run's not going to fit in. And that is actually okay.
Yeah,
I'll catch one tomorrow or the next day or the next day or whenever it fits in.
Exactly.
And it's giving me more time with like my family and my friends and people who matter. And it sometimes allows me to pour a little bit more into work. I don't think you should always sacrifice fitness for work or those things, but there's been a lot of fun experiences that I've had because I've been like, okay, I'm not going to go for a run or do fitness today. I'm just going to do that other thing that sounds really appealing. And I love that perspective. And I hope other people can maybe learn from my mistakes in that.
Yeah, no, that's a great perspective. Because also it reminds me of the quote that, comparison is the thief of joy, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when you're comparing yourself to somebody who is running more than you or running faster than you, and you think that you should be pushing yourself harder to that level without taking the proper steps to get to that level, that's when running becomes miserable and your body starts to break down, and that's where injury comes in. So I think having that perspective to be like, hey, that's where I want to be. How do I get there safely and properly? And yes, it might take me longer, but you can get there. Yeah, you can train for it. But if you push too hard, you will reach a breaking point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's a good lesson.
Absolutely. And that's a good place to go to number 3 on our bourbon tasting.
Great.
And this one here in the middle. It's called Town Branch Maple Barrel Stout.
Oh, I love maple.
Yeah. It is a 94 proof bourbon.
Okay.
The flavor profile for this one is maple, cocoa, brown sugar, and cherry.
I taste cherry.
Yeah, the cherry flavor is very prominent in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's not quite like a cherry Coke necessarily, but
that's a good comparison.
It gives that, right? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Now that you've said it, I do. Let me taste it one more time. But yeah, it's a cherry Coke in here, folks.
Okay, while you sip on that and get that flavor a little bit back, I'm going to ask you the next question. So I mentioned that you are a Lululemon Run Ambassador this year. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
So you're actually the 3rd Lululemon Ambassador that I've had on the show.
Wow, you have good taste.
Yeah, Lahaina was here before, and also Dan Kane. He was an ambassador before as well. So they all have their unique experiences in that role.
Yeah.
What does the role mean to you?
Well, first of all, I feel like my childhood self would be so excited about this. Like, I mean, being able to, help build a running community, Northeast Track Club, share my love of running with that community, have a group of people to run with any day I want.
Yeah.
People who are going for runs anyways, who I can always join, and I have a great time with every time, is like awesome. Being a Lululemon ambassador is just the cherry on top. It allows me to extend myself a little bit more to my community, and yes, of course, clothes are great. Like, who doesn't love Lululemon clothes? They have great products.
Right.
But truly, like, being able to extend myself just a little bit more. And to have a brand that chose me and said, like, Molly, we choose you and we want to support you and the things that you believe in and care about is like such an honor. And it's such a big brand. Everyone I know wears Lululemon. Even the people like, in the random shopping mall in some random town, everyone has Lululemon. It's everywhere. And it's, it's a major player in the fitness industry. So yeah, it's really an honor to be chosen by them for starters. But I think what it means to me is that I am able to share my passions and my love and extend that to my community just a little bit more. Like, I was already able to do that, but having a company that backs me to do that and says, what do you care about and how can we support you? Allows me to go the extra mile. And, some of it might be an outfitting to somebody that I see in the Northeast Track Club community who has just been above and beyond or just been a really great supporter or who's donated their time in a certain way that just really stands out. And being able to be like, hey, I asked Lululemon if we could outfit you. And they said yes.
Nice.
That's just like, really cool because I realized that, being a volunteer run coordinator, captain, senior captain, whatever it is, that's often a thankless job, but it also means that you bring in your friends for an equally thankless job along for the ride. And, it's hard to find the best way to thank them. But that's one of the ways that I see myself being able to make an influence. And I hope I can also, through this, find a way to create more community. There's a lot of run clubs in DC. There's a lot of people who lead run clubs, and I find that it's generally a thankless job. People do say thank you. Right. I'm not saying that they don't, but I do think a lot of people do not see the day-to-day operations, which you can probably relate to.
Absolutely. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes that make the club successful. And it takes a special kind of person to want to sacrifice that much time and effort on top of everything that you're already doing, training for races, working a full-time job, et cetera, running a podcast.
Not to flex, but running a podcast is major.
But being a run lead, captain at a run club it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad that Lululemon is giving you a way to further that community, further that connection, and give back to the community. Yeah,
it's been awesome. And I just started being an ambassador in February, so and this spring has been a really busy season. So I don't even know that I've been able to totally explore that in its fullness yet. So I'm hoping that there's more to come. I know we have some really fun plans for this fall coming up.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm really excited for what that looks like.
Yeah. We just held the Global Running Day, and Lululemon came out to Northeast Track Club, and I didn't get to go. So how was that?
Oh, it was so cool. I think the coolest thing is I used to run Global Run Day, just have everyone come over to my house in my backyard. And I've moved this past year, so I no longer have quite as large of a backyard to welcome everyone in. So I asked Lululemon if they would support Global Run Day from Lincoln Park, the local park down the street. Yep. And they said yes. And my ask was just, could you supply some funds to buy bagels and coffee for everyone?
Right.
And it was so cool that I didn't ask, they just assumed, of course we'll staff the event. We'll have people there to set up a table, get the coffee, greet the bagel delivery person. We'll hang out there afterwards. We'll talk to the community. And it just took so much off. It was so cool that they took so much off my plate. And I didn't feel like I was in charge of welcoming the community, finding the route, leading the run, coming back to the run, making announcements, and also setting everything up. And they kind of just were like, yeah, what do you need? We'll totally support that. And then this was the first time that I'd asked them to also supply a couple members of our community some gear and outfit them. And they also were like, yep, we'd love to do that. And it was really cool. It was, as an outcome, I think Lululemon or the people from Lululemon who were there staffing the event were really excited by how many people just showed up on a random Wednesday at 7 a.m. to run 3 miles together. Yeah. And I was also really excited that so many people chose to use their 7 a.m. time and share that with us. Because, as runners, we all love to get out the door and go running. And a 3 mile run, some people think that's far. Some people are like, I have to get at least 7 this morning, or 8 or 9 or 10. And it was just so cool that people chose us to spend their morning with and celebrate Global Run Day in the community. And it was awesome that Lululemon supplied people to help staff it, and that they were also able to see how wonderful the community of Northeast Track Club is.
Absolutely.
So I loved it.
Yeah, I was sorry to miss it. I had a meeting that morning, so I was not able to go. But I will endeavor to be there next year for sure.
Excellent. We'll run it back.
Absolutely. Global Running Day is not a day that is missed here at Northeast Track Club for sure.
We love that day.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. What did you think of the town branch?
I liked it. Yeah. I feel like I've said that about all of them, but I liked the cherry in this one. I liked the notes of vanilla in this one. And I was very interested with the smoky taste of this one. Okay. If I had to pick a favorite so much, I would actually say it was this town branch, this middle one. Okay. Because I could relate to the flavor so much. Okay. When we said it was a cherry cook, I was like, nailed it. That is absolutely. It. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I am excited for you to try the last two. Okay. This next one, it's a little bit spicy. So just a word of warning there. It is Colonel E.H. Taylor Small Batch Bottled in Bond. It is 100 proof.
100 proof. That's some strong stuff, huh?
It is. So the proof is twice the ABV. So
Okay.
50% alcohol by volume.
Wow.
And that's actually not, for bourbon, it's not that high. So.
Okay.
And the flavor profile is caramel corn, butterscotch, oak, licorice, cherry, orange, and spices.
Whoa, that is spicy.
Got you there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a spicy guy.
that'll do it. Yep, for sure.
Wow. Did you say there are notes of licorice in this one?
There can be. Yeah, if you taste licorice, I've never tasted the licorice in this one. I always get the like citrusy orange in the trailer.
I could see that from like the kick.
Mm-hmm. Every now and then I'll get that like sweetness of the caramel corn, but it's not coming through today for me. So.
Oh, you know what? Taking a sip of water to kind of cleanse my palate. The second one, I did get a ton of. It wasn't spicy.
Yeah.
Just caramel corn.
Okay, nice.
That's what I tasted.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that. I love that it came through for you.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's this is such an interesting concept to me. And it's very cool to be able to like actually follow along with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because usually if I'm tasting something and, someone's like, what do you think? And I'm like, fine, I guess. I mean, I'll probably finish it. I don't know. It's
Right,
good.
yeah.
But this I feel like I can really relate to.
No,
I'm excited to share your passions with you and hear more about them.
I love that. I mean, one of my goals for this is to have the person on the other side of the table really leave here with an appreciation of the differences, subtle that they may be, of the different types of bourbons.
Right.
So,
Yeah. No, I love that. I feel like I don't know that I'll always be able to taste the notes and things. Like this is such a special, like curated environment where I'm truly just like drinking this,
Yeah.
taking a moment to like hear what's in them and trying to share that experience with you.
Yeah.
So this is definitely like probably the most I think I'll ever know about it, but I'm excited that I get to walk away being like, yeah, you should have seen the notes of things I tasted today. It's great.
No, I'm happy to hear that. It really makes all of this worth it for sure. Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, so for today's interview, in preparation, I reached out to a former Northeast Track Club pacer and one of your best friends.
No way. Did you talk to Lindsay?
Yes. And I asked her, what is one thing I should ask you about today?
Oh.
She had a couple of stories that were fun and interesting. But the one thing that I think I walked away from is I wanted to ask you, why do you like to eat other people's coffee cakes?
Oh my God. Okay. This comes from... Wait, am I supposed to drink this first?
No, we already did.
Okay,
We're still on the question.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
God, that really caught me off guard. That was not what I thought you were going to say, but okay. So what had happened was...
Yeah.
We were in Delaware at Bethany Beach, and me, Lindsay, and Michael, we had a group of friends, and me, Lindsay, and Michael woke up and we're like, we're going to go to this coffee shop and get a coffee cake. And one thing to know about me, I love coffee cake.
Yeah.
The Jersey Shore has a couple bakeries that make these coffee cakes that are just, we call them crumb buns. They are out of this world. They're so good. So if I see one and we're like in a shore town, the first thing I would love to have is a crumb bun. So Lindsay stays in the car because we tried to sneak out of this house that all of our friends are like tightly packed into. And it's like, probably 7 a.m. because that's what time we all seem to wake up, the trio of us. And we sneak into the car. Lindsay didn't grab shoes because she's like, I was just trying to tiptoe out. We're all kind of in our pajamas. And we go to this coffee shop. Lindsay waits in the car. Me and Michael go in. And I'm like, well, what do you think Lindsay would like? And we're looking through things. We order a couple things, order our coffees, get into the car. And we're headed on our way home. And I remember this story as that I suggested that we should order coffee cake.
Okay.
And we ordered 3 things. So I thought that because I suggested we ordered coffee cake, that it was obviously my coffee cake.
Obviously.
Well, that was not the case. Michael understood this story differently.
Yes.
So we're in the car, we're chatting, I'm just hungry. I'm like mouth-watering love coffee cake. So I'm just sitting in the back being like, I can't wait till we get back to the place. We're trying to find a place to charge our car, in Bethany Beach, which where the heck do you charge a car in a beach town? I don't have an electric vehicle. This was rented. So I didn't know anything. I was just in the car in the back. So I grabbed the bag, I picked out the coffee cake that was obviously mine, and I ate it. The whole thing. And I was like, this is amazing. Couldn't stop. Like, I probably thought I'd eat half, and then suddenly I was like, and now it's gone. Oops.
Best morning ever.
I had a great morning.
Yeah.
Well, then we're driving along back to the house, and Michael's like, oh, do you mind handing me that coffee cake? And I was like, that's crazy because I ate it. No.
What do you mean?
I don't know what to say, but I ate it.
Yeah.
Michael's, I think of him as kind of like an older brother.
Yeah.
And I'm his little annoying sister. He's like, I ate your coffee cake. What are you going to do about it? But of course, like, I was like, what do you mean?
Right. Yeah.
I didn't eat your coffee cake. I ate my coffee cake. That's insane. I said I wanted the coffee cake. And he said he wanted the coffee cake. And, it came down to us fighting in the car like siblings. And Lindsay eventually be like, Michael, stop fighting with her. Michael, you're starting to be mean. And I'm like, no. Oh, no, this is my coffee cake. I'm ready to go to war. And Michael is like, he's doubling down. And Lindsay's like, stop being mean to Molly. And I'm like, he's not being mean. I want to fight. So eventually this story ends in that, so I obviously was like, and the coffee cake was delicious. Best ever. Just to like really drive into the wound.
Yeah.
So Michael did go back to the place to get himself a coffee cake.
Okay.
That is the end. But I always had this idea in my mind that like for his birthday or something, I'd send him a coffee cake just to really remind him of that fun time together.
That'd be so funny.
Yeah. Wow, that was a really good question.
Yeah. Yeah. No, when she told me this story, she sent it over a voice note, and she was like, I'm dying laughing telling this story.
It was hilarious.
And apparently this is now a running joke with you guys, that you guys talk about how Molly likes to eat everybody's coffee cakes. So.
Listen, I love a sweet treat.
Yeah.
I generally usually just eat my own, but if there's coffee available, I cannot make any promises.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Speaking of sweet treats, that actually reminds me of another story regarding you and food and sweet treats. This was early on in our friendship with you, me, and Carrie. Actually, I wasn't there. This is relayed from Carrie.
Oh, no. I don't know what you could be talking about.
Y'all were going up to New York to run a relay race and stopped for some road trip snacks. You pulled out some carrots as a road trip snack and said that you grew up thinking carrots were like candy.
Yeah, obviously.
Not obvious, Molly. Not obvious.
I don't know what to say. Everyone knows that. Carrots are just like candy.
Carrots are not just like candy, Molly. How are carrots like candy? First, explain that.
Okay. So as a kid, I had this wonderful, wonderful nanny. Her name's Volley.
Yeah.
She's from Hungary, and Hungary is very rural.
Yeah.
And I love Volley so much. She taught me so many wonderful things. I really think she laid a wonderful foundation for my life. And she lived with us. My parents both worked full time, so she really took care of me. She lived with us. She was part of our family. My mom's best friend. I think she would even say to this point that they're best friends, and I get to go visit her even still to this day. I just love her.
Amazing.
But also, Europeans definitely have different diets than Americans. And I think when Volley first came here, she was shocked by the American diet and was like, you Americans, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You guys eat tons of sugar, and she just wasn't used to that.
Sure.
So in my early years of life, I ate carrots and thought that was like a sweet treat. I also thought that seltzer was soda. I just was like, can I have some of the bubbles? Like, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes I put a splash of orange juice in it, and then it was like really good.
Okay.
But I think I didn't have a very sweet palate because I was so used to having things like carrots and seltzer, and I didn't have a lot of sugar in my diet as like a young kid.
Okay.
And one time I went to my grandpa's house and he gave me brown soda. That was the good stuff. And I came home, and I have never been the same. I came home and I said, Mom, Grandpa has brown soda, and it is the best thing ever. You have to get some. Like, it's so good. And she was like, what do you mean you had brown soda? No, you can have seltzer. And like, of course, my mom's like telling me to drink seltzer, and I'm like, I want the brown soda.
Yeah,
no.
yeah. No.
I think I really do like carrots. I think I love the crunch. I love like to dip them in something. Sure. But that is funny. I always think of like when I'm going on a road trip, I love to pack like a couple fresh chopped veggies or something. And I always think of it when I bring it out because, you know, they're kind of loud to chew on and gnaw on. And people are always like, carrots, really? Like you don't have popcorn or chips or something? Which, to be fair, I think I also really like popcorn and chips. And we may have made a pit stop to get some of that. Okay. But yeah, carrots are a great snack. You know, they're pretty hearty. Like they don't really go bad that quick. They last for a while in the fridge. But yeah, that comes directly from my nanny as a kid growing up. She taught me that, you know, a sweet treat could be just like a sweet vegetable. And
nice. I mean, that's great that she taught you that early.
Yeah, and I will add maybe something more embarrassing on my list is that in college during grad school, you know, I was trying to run full time, and I think I was the only like 3-season athlete in our accelerated master's program at William & Mary, which is insane. Like that time of my life, I don't know how I did both. I'd like run from the business school to practice to back to the business school in a full suit again to practice. I'd miss like a lift. I'd have to go lift by myself. It was insane. Yeah. But they had superlatives at the end of the year, and I wasn't there the day of superlatives came out. Of course, I was traveling for a meet, as I do. Yeah. And someone sent me a screenshot of my superlatives, and mine was most likely to be eating a carrot in class. And I was like, really? I don't eat that many carrots in class. Are you kidding me? Guys, what the heck? But in fairness, I was literally running from probably, like I'd run 10 to 12 miles. Yeah. Business school class started at 9 or 9:30 a.m. I can't remember. And it was a mile from the other side of campus, which meant that I had to shower, change, be done with my 10 to 12 mile run, drills, hurdles, whatever else that I had to do during my day. Shower, change, get in a full suit, and then commute to the other side of campus, all by 9 a.m.
That's crazy.
Which also probably meant I was starving at that point.
Right, absolutely.
Who can fit, where did I eat in that? Yeah. And I'd be sitting in class, and I'd be starving. Maybe I prepped something, but, you know, in business school, they're kind of formal, so they don't want you to be eating a full meal, so pull out a carrot. That seems right.
Absolutely.
In fairness, they also voted me most likely to become an Olympian and best hair, so...
Okay.
I got some good superlatives there, but the carrot one was the real kicker. I was like, whoever did this, I hope they listen to this podcast, and I hope they know that I remember. And I'm always like, what? I probably ate a carrot in class like one time. I know those are annoying, and they're crunchy. In business school classes, they're kind of quiet.
Right, yeah. But no, that's fair. That's fair.
Always a funny thing. It was really, and when I saw that, I think I was like traveling somewhere for some meet, and I was like, really, guys? That's probably I was gnawing on a carrot as my snack. Being like, well, don't worry, I'm always equipped with a carrot just in case.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That's a good one.
Oh, man. Okay, question about carrots. This tends to be controversial, I hear. Baby carrots. Pro or no? Because I hear some people are like, baby carrots are terrible because they're like slimy and wet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like I would never turn down a baby carrot, but if I'm picking a carrot, I want like the full thing chopped. Okay. Like that to me is the best version. Because they're kind of thick, so it hurts your teeth to really bite into it if it's not chopped. So my recommendation for my carrot aperture would be a large carrot chopped into probably quarters and then like halved after that, and that creates the perfect snack. All right. Dipped into something.
What's your favorite dip?
Oh, good question. Caesar dip. I would go for that every time.
Interesting.
Some people like ranch. I'm a big Caesar gal. Okay. I really like some good Caesar in my carrots.
I'm a big ranch person, but it has to be like a good ranch. Yeah. There's definitely like some ranches.
Crisp ranch.
That are just...
Yeah, they're
that
like,
tastes off.
Yeah, they don't have all the flavors. Like, they gotta be popping.
It has to be.
I agree.
Yeah, but Caesar, I'm gonna have to, maybe I'll try a carrot and some Caesars.
Check that out.
Yeah, I'll take that up for consideration.
It's good to switch it up. When you're tired of ranch, just check out that Caesar.
Yeah, I will say I have a very sweet tooth, though, so I tend to lean more towards, like, chocolate instead of carrots. So.
I don't know about dipping a carrot in chocolate, though. Although...
Oh, no. That sounds horrible.
If you're just having, like, chocolate as a snack. I do also have a very sweet tooth, and I do wonder sometimes if it's because in my childhood I didn't eat a lot of sweets. Sure. And now I'm just revolting because I can eat whatever I want now. I'm an adult.
Right, you're an adult.
I get to make my own decisions. Yeah, and my own decisions often point me in the direction of a bakery treat in the morning rather than what some might say is the responsible, more savory breakfast, including... all the 3 food groups that you need or whatever. But I think a donut's good too.
I love a good donut. Yeah.
It's about balance. Like I said earlier, everyone needs more balance. Mm-hmm. Eat that donut.
More balance, everything in moderation. Right. You're good to go. Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. We are coming to the end. Yes, our last I've been excited about this one because it has this little, we got this little horse on top. It's well crafted. Yeah, everybody loves the Blanton's bottle. And I tell the story to every guest who comes on. If you see behind the horse, there's a little letter there. That one I think is an N. Yep. So it is a series. Each bottle has a different horse, and each one has a letter, and it spells out Blanton's, which is obviously the brand. Mm-hmm. And then the horse, it starts from the rider at a sitting position, and then it goes through a full movement of the running, and then at the finish line, the last one is the rider fist up in victory. Oh my gosh. Coming through the finish line.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that is a little interesting note about Blanton's.
I love that. Yeah. Very well thought out product.
Yeah. And Blanton's is currently my favorite bourbon. So
I was going to ask you what your favorite was.
Yeah, you get to try my favorite. It is 93 proof.
Mm-hmm. So 46.5 alcohol by volume.
Wow, look at your math.
I read it off this.
All right, before we take our last sip, one last cheers. Thank you again for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm so lucky to have such great friends.
I am too.
And cool friends. You have your own podcast.
Flavor profile for this one is going to be vanilla, citrus, butterscotch, honey, caramel, nutmeg, and baking spices.
That one's almost the lightest of them all. Mm-hmm. It's not so spicy.
Yep.
It's very light. I think this one's my favorite of all of them. No question.
Absolutely. It is. I think it helps that we're coming down from the 100 proof back down to 93.
Yeah.
But it's so smooth. And it's such an interesting flavor. You don't get that burn that you do with like the 100 proof E.H. Taylor.
Right.
Fun fact though, they come from the same distillery. E.H. Taylor and Blanton's are the same. Okay. And Buffalo Trace as well. It's all 3 of those. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Very cool.
Yeah. All right. Final question. Again, I mentioned this in the intro. You are a senior captain at Northeast Track Club. This year has been a bit of a transition year for the club.
It has been.
It's created certain challenges that you've navigated with grace.
Thank you.
How have your life experiences helped you to step into this leadership role more than you've had to in years past?
Well, I mean, like you said, it's been a year of change.
Yeah.
I'd actually challenge that and say that it wasn't just my life experiences, but it's the people who came before me. So I think of Matt and Vonks, for example. I really look up to Vonks in a lot of ways. I think when she made the club and when she founded the club and, I think of James Majewski and Vonks and Matt, who were really some of the original founders. When I think of them, I feel like they saw an opportunity and a need for community, and they made an action, which I think a lot of people don't. And when I joined the club, it was about 20 people. It was really small. And immediately when I met them and I met this group of people, I was like, I have to be friends with these people. They are so awesome. Like, they just care about each other. They support each other. They want to be around each other. They want the best for each other. And I was so lucky to be able to be a part of it. And I was so lucky to stumble upon them and to find them. And I think I would actually say that Northeast Track Club and looking up to Vonks and how she handled things and how she grew this club helped me more prepare for this role now than anything else.
Okay.
And I would also say that it helps me, it's helped me be a better person at work. It's helped me handle situations from so many areas of my life better because I've learned about, what do you do in the face of adversity? What do you do when things get hard? What if there's some community drama? What if someone comes to you with something that's confidential? What do you do, when you feel like you're at the end of your rope? You don't just give up, you figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like she's taught me so many lessons along the way, and I'm truly, when I have something hard or when I have something that I don't know what to do, she in many ways would be the person I would call because she's done it. She's done it a million times over. And I think, like having her and Matt step down, like such a loss to the club. When they stepped down, it made so much sense to me. They have two like super fun kids, and I know they love being parents, and they both have really exciting jobs, which takes them away from that. I learned a lot from them. And I would say the other experiences that taught me to do that and taught me to be that way is, I think, like running. Oprah actually said this. I got a quote for you.
Okay.
Running is the greatest metaphor for life because you get out of it what you put into it.
Absolutely.
And it's true. Like you get out of your community what you put into it. You get out of running what you put into it. You get out of work what you put into it. You get out of your relationship what you put into it. And your friendships and all of those things. They all spill over with your family, with your friends, whatever it is. And I think there's a lot of like experiences through my life where I've gathered like little things, like it might be something small in grad school where I was like, man, I was juggling a lot of things, but I figured out how to make it work. And it might have been when I first started working in DC where I was like, okay, I still want to run fast, but I also need to find a way to be successful at work. And I'm also really new here, so I need to make a community. How do I make those work? And you kind of you get through it, and it's not always easy. And when I joined Northeast Track Club, like I wasn't immediately part of our leadership, but once I got to be part of our leadership, like Vonk's kind of always led the ship. Like Vonk said it, and I was like, great, let's do it. And along the way, I've seen like a lot of community members step up and lead, and I've met some of my greatest friends, like Sammy. Sammy Tuwaldi and I went to the same school. We both went to William & Mary, and I didn't know her in school. But I became friends with her in my adult life, and like I really look up to her in a lot of ways. She's very quick on her feet, and I learned a lot from her. And I know she has her own family now, which is great. So I wish I could see her every single day. Yeah. But there's been so many people in my life who have made like small differences and like things that I've carried with me, whether it's the person who took an extra minute to show empathy, or it's the person who dealt with a really hard situation with integrity. And I saw that and was like, wow, I want to be like that. Like, I want to remember that for my life when something hard happens, or when I'm dealing with adversity at work, or when I'm dealing with like adversity, which seems silly in the running community. I want to always be the kind of person who deals with things with integrity and like a really strong moral compass to the best of my ability. Like I'm not perfect, of course. Like I could think it's my best moral compass and I'm like, this is the most ethical thing ever. And then, maybe other people see it from a different way, but in the face of change, I think what has been really impactful to me is I've seen people show up. Like when I've asked for help, people have been like, yeah, I can help you. And they follow through, which is how cool is that? Like, there's lots of people who raise their hands who want to do stuff, but when it comes down to it, they're like, not that job. That sounds like it sucks. But there's a lot of people who show up, and there's a lot of people who stand by you and support you. I don't think it just was one experience, but I think it was a lot of experiences, whether it was like running alone every summer and having a lot of discipline to do that, or, coming to the city and being like learning a lot of new things all at once, or, in high school and college, I felt like a lot of times I was, especially in college, I felt this when I was one of the people competing at the end of the season, and I felt like I was representing the whole team, and I loved like the leadership that brought, but I also loved the people who just supported me along the way, whether it was like, I'll tag in for your workout, even though I really don't want to do workout, but I'll do every other lap with you. I feel so lucky by all the people who have supported me to get to this point. And I can never say it enough. Like Vonk's really paved the way for us, and to be able to stand on her shoulders. I mean, I hope someday that I can be the kind of person who allows someone else, sets the stage for someone else to stand on my shoulders. And I love Northeast Track Club. I can't promise I'm going to lead it forever, but I hope I can do the best of my ability for now. And I hope that when it's time to take on somebody else and have somebody else take the reins, that they can stand on what we've built as a community, and they can be prepared for that too. So
amazing. I love it. And I mean, you've been an integral part of the club. You've done amazing things. I think people do look up to you. I look up to you.
That's so nice. Thanks.
No, it's. I mean it. Like I joined leadership 2 years ago. So
I remember when you first came.
Yeah. I remember the first day I came to Northeast Track Club at Cardozo. I had come one time before, and it was at the Georgetown track. And I'd known Vonks previously. We were both pacers at Nike Run Club. Right? Yeah. So that's why we were like coming back to Northeast Track Club. And we walked into Cardozo, and you were doing some warm-up laps, and I just remember you like bounding across the turn. And you looked over, and you didn't even know us, and you're like, hey, welcome. And you made Northeast Track Club feel so welcoming, and it really stands out as a memory that I'm of you and Northeast Track Club, of why it has been so successful.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's, and again, I said it at the start of this podcast, I'm very fortunate to call you a friend, and I'm glad that our friendship has grown from that point to what it is today.
Me too. Yeah. I can't say it enough. Like, I'm so grateful for your friendship, but I'm also really grateful for all the people who make this possible. Like, Northeast Track Club is huge now. Yes. What grew from like 20 really close-knit friends to now being able to do this, it feels like such a big responsibility. And like, yes, at one point I used to be able to welcome every single new person. I'd want to say hello to them. Yeah. Who are you? What's your story? I would love to know you. Welcome.
Absolutely.
And now it's so big, I like rely on the community. I hope they see the new people and they welcome them. And I think generally they do a good job, which I'm really grateful for. But yeah, it's so special to be a part of this. It's special to do them with your friends and the group of people you call friends. And it's not easy. Like, it's not easy to spend all of your time for free just doing these things. And, you know, how cool is it? Like, we have ASICS that has believed in us so much. The brand came to us, Mac Baker, what a great guy, literally sat down with us and was like, blue sky approach, what could we do for you? Yeah. And ASICS is a brand, and I think often we can credit that to Mac. They said, we believe in you, and we want this club to be successful, and we love the community that you've built. And just to have people recognize that, and to be able to do it with your friends. And not only that, see how much your friends care about making this successful, especially when you don't feel like it. Like, there's really busy work weeks, there's family, there's weddings. Like, I feel like we're all constantly in a wedding season. How fun is it to be invited to a wedding? But also, absolutely, like, that also means other parts of your life maybe take a hit sometimes. And it's really cool that we get to all do this together and support each other with the common goal of, like, we don't need to gain anything from this. We just want Northeast Track Club and the community to be successful, because the people who show up, I think, are so grateful to be a part of a community. And we find people from all different parts, like the people who are really looking to get into running, to the people who are going through something really hard. Maybe it's a breakup or something with their family, to the people who are like, gosh, I have not been able to find community and belonging, or maybe they're new to the city. There's such a large breadth of people that it's really cool that we get to do this and like all have the common goal of bringing it to them. So I'm grateful I get to do it with you. And I know Carrie, she's been such an awesome member too. And Simone's one of our leaders, and we're really lucky to have this group of people to do it with. So
100%. So this podcast episode is going to be coming out the day of Northeast Track Club's flagship race, Better Your Mile. Yes. Okay. Yes. We are currently.
Pressure's on. I hope I said cool things.
We are currently, I think this is week 6 of 8 of training for Better Your Mile. First off, for the people who don't know, what is Better Your Mile?
Well, obviously the best race of the year, but also Better Your Mile is an 8-week training program that was pioneered by Northeast Track Club, and the objective is to better your mile. We spent 8 weeks doing track-specific workouts to get faster. And the idea is at the beginning, people set a baseline mile, do your best effort with what you have, don't train for it, just do it. And then for the next 8 weeks, we have a training plan. We add an additional day of training on Thursday mornings. We keep to our normal track Tuesdays on Tuesday nights, and then we have some little extra pizzazz on our Saturday community runs to really get people to the goal of bettering their mile, which is unique because in your adult life, like, you know, I ran the mile in college, but in my adult life, it's so rare that I would sign up for a mile race and get to actually have a training program that I get to follow with other people with a common goal. And at the end, we have the Better Your Mile grand finale, which is under the lights at a track. And it's electric.
It is.
We have a DJ. We have a real timer. This year we have a lot of vendors, which our community members have helped us get that together.
Yes.
A6 is a huge supporter in that. Hopefully I'll pull a Lululemon somehow. Like we're just like it is so fun.
It is. It's an amazing event. It is an adult track meet. Like it's just so much fun. It's always a great time.
And the stands are electric. Like we start out with like 9-minute pace or so. And we have pacers for every single heat, and it goes from 9 minutes to like 8:30 to 8 to 7 to 7:30. And I think there's some increments of like to the 15th of a second or to the 15th of a minute, where we really get down to the 4:30 mile and under, and that the crowd goes electric for every single one of those.
Yes.
But I always notice at the end of the night, people get so excited and just line the track, cheering those people on. Yeah. Like running close to 4 minutes in the mile, which is insane that people in their adult life who are just like amateur runners come in. I don't want to insult anyone, maybe you're a professional runner, but generally amateur runners come and do this, and they're so fast. And A6 sometimes even provides some pro runners to help pace, which is really cool.
We've had some amazing runners come out for the last 2 years. And actually Emma Grace
shout out to Emma Grace,
a guest on the show. She came out and paced 2 years ago. It's been A6 has been an incredible sponsor to help us really make Better Your Mile a flagship event for Northeast Track Club and DC in general, because people, even though they're Northeast Track Club trains for it all 8 weeks, we still get people who come out who didn't really train with us, but they're looking for an event to race, and that is a fun experience for them as well. So I think we get to provide the community with a cool experience.
I'm so excited for it. And then we all know the greatest event of all is track prom.
Track prom, the day after.
Track prom is the next day this year. We have a very cool venue from one of our friends, Stephen Rookers, helped us set it up. It's at Crush Bar. Is that the hard launch? I don't know if
I think
this will come out on Better Your Mile, so
people
know by then.
Know.
But we're super lucky that we have an awesome venue. We've done some really cool venues in the past, but it's the only time in my adult life that I get to pretend it's prom and gets really glitzy and like kind of wear whatever you want and just dress up and have fun with your friends.
Absolutely.
And it's like, there's no dress code. You can wear whatever you want, but most people really dress up. I see guys in suits and girls in like these fun cocktail dresses and whatever makes them happy. And what a fun time to celebrate your accomplishments. You do the thing, you run the mile, and then the next day we celebrate.
Yeah, it's such
awesome
a fun weekend. I'm glad that we do Friday, Saturday, so I have Sunday to
thank goodness,
sleep all day.
For all of us, for all of our sanity, thank goodness, because that is insane. I mean, wow.
No, it is such a fun weekend. It requires a lot of energy.
Yeah, you have to be constantly on.
Yes, but totally worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
And watching the community better their mile and seeing people come across the finish line. So I do the video obviously for the club, and last year I got to stand at the finish line taking video of everybody crossing the finish line and seeing the people, the emotion and the pride that they felt for themselves for having pushed themselves from, some people bettered their mile by like a minute, which is a lot for a mile.
Huge.
It's
depends
huge.
how fast you're running, but that can be like 20%. That's a lot.
Yeah, and even throughout the program, through the 8 weeks, you'll talk to people, they'll be like, I started with the 7-minute pace and we're 6 weeks in and I'm running with the 6:30s. And I think I might be able to run with the run a 6-minute mile by the end of this. And I'm like, that's insane. But it's incredible. And it speaks a lot to the programming too, which this year we have to thank Zach Prescott and did Casey help us with that as well?
I think it was a combo of Zach and Casey.
Yeah, they really helped out, and I think it's been really beneficial to helping people get to achieve their goals.
Yeah, we've been so lucky. Our pacing team is awesome. Yeah. And the fact that they are also willing to just give their time to that. Shout out to all of you guys.
Shout out to all the Pacers, for sure.
Definitely lucky to have them. Yeah. The Pacers, the people who support us, our sponsors. our fellow captains and leadership team, our behind the scenes people who just do a ton for us, help us all.
Like a little bourbon.
Too much bourbon. You gotta cut me off. But yeah, we have so much help and so many people who are willing to lend a hand when we ask, which is awesome. But
yeah, absolutely.
Gosh, I'm so excited for Better Your Mile this year. It's going to be a good one.
I'm very excited. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right, Molly. Well, that was it for the bourbon.
Yeah.
Are we still thinking Blanton's?
I think this, yeah, I think this one's my favorite.
Yeah. No, it's, like I said, it's my favorite. It's so delicious. Yeah.
Yeah. Confirmed. It's my favorite.
All right. Well, where can people follow you if they want to follow you on social media?
I have an Instagram. That's really the only social media. I'm not a huge social media person, but when I do post, I try to post about my life. But Molly Applegate 95. Shocker. I was born in 95. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really original. Right. But yeah, follow me there. You can follow along with my running story, Northeast Track Club, maybe my Lululemon Ambassador, maybe just some fun life things. Absolutely. But yeah, feel free to follow.
And actually, where can people get more information about Northeast Track Club and Better Your Mile?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, we have a website, netrackclub.com. I know people are probably more on the social media grind these days, but we also have a Northeast Track Club, NE Track Club Instagram page, which is very quickly updated by yours truly over here. Carlos does a great job with updating that. We also have M Rounds helping out with that, which has been awesome. But yeah, I would say those are probably our two best. We also have a Discord.
We do have a Discord.
If you'd like talking to your closest 400 friends on a daily basis, Discord is the place to get your updates. But you get updates on everything. You get updates on biking, running, races, random and miscellaneous announcements. You know, you get the whole works. So
it's the full gamut.
Sign up at your own risk. But I like to know what other people are doing.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing on a Tuesday morning? Going for a 20-mile cycle? That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you get the whole gamut with Discord. But I would recommend the website and definitely hitting our Instagram. It's always updated. We try to post a couple of times a week. And also the website's updated on Monday mornings to let you know where we're running that week. We run on Tuesday nights at 6:30, 6:45, depending on the season. Check the website for the real answer. Usually at Eastern High School. And then on Saturdays, we do a community run from a local coffee shop. Yeah. As we all know, we try to pick things that our family own, not your typical chain or anything like that, but we reach out to them ahead of time and try to partner with them and support their businesses. And then we typically go for a run throughout the city, so it's a really good way to get to know different parts of the city, find your favorite coffee shop, and just yap with some community members, meet somebody new.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you coming on and experiencing the bourbon.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope you walk away from here with just a little more appreciation for the bourbon tastings.
I definitely learned about bourbon today. So thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I'm excited for Better Your Mile and excited to see this podcast come out. So thanks a bunch.
Me too, absolutely. And for everybody at home, thank you so much for watching and tuning in today. Please follow Molly on her Instagram and also Northeast Track Club, NE_Track Club on Instagram. I think they're also on TikTok. So
that's what I heard. I don't have a TikTok, but I heard they might be on TikTok.
And then for After Run Bourbon Club, you can also follow us on Instagram at After Run Bourbon Club. And to listen to the full podcast, you can catch us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and we're also on YouTube to watch the full video. All right. Thank you so much for checking us out today. Thank you again to Molly, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.